Potential so-called carrier killer raising the stakes if North Korea can ever get the new missile to work. The first two tests were failures, but remember, they learn every time they test. Meanwhile, the Vice President, Mike Pence, is in Tokyo, assuring the Prime Minister that America stands 100% with Tokyo as the Trump team confronts North Korea and its dictator.
All options are on the table. Nevertheless, President Trump and I have great confidence that together with Japan and our allies in the region, we will protect the peace and security of this part of the world and achieve our shared goal of a nuclear-free Korean peninsula.
I don't think that you're going to see the president drawing red lines in the sand, but I think that the action that he took in Syria shows that when appropriate, this president will take decisive action.
I hope things work out well. I hope there's going to be peace. But, you know, they've been talking with this gentleman for a long time.
So Ambassador John Bolton in a moment on the geopolitical breakdown, but we start with national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin from the Pentagon. What's the reaction from the Secretary of Defense traveling overseas, Jennifer?
Well, Bill, this is the first time we've heard on camera from the Defense Secretary since the failed test. Secretary Mattis just arrived a few hours ago in Saudi Arabia, his first stop on a 5-nation tour of the Middle East and the Horn of Africa. On the flight over, he was asked about North Korea's failed missile test. Here's what he said.
Leader in North Korea, again, recklessly tried to provoke something by launching a missile. It was not an intercontinental ballistic missile. It failed on launch.
Fox News has learned new details about the North Korean missile that failed to launch over the weekend. Following a large-scale parade in Pyongyang, the missile exploded 4 seconds after launch. U.S. officials are calling it a KN-17, a new designation for a Scud missile designed to target ships. No images exist of the new missile. I'm told this is a single-stage liquid-fueled missile, not the multi-stage solid-fuel missile North Korea successfully tested in February, which drew concern from the Pentagon officials after it traveled 300 miles.
We keep hearing about a Navy aircraft carrier heading to the waters off the Korean Peninsula. Is that new, or what is the status of all of that now, Jennifer?
Well, Bill, there's been a lot of inaccurate reporting on the USS Carl Vinson Strike Group's location. Let's be clear, the Vinson aircraft carrier is not and has not been off the coast of the Korean Peninsula. Over a week ago, the head of U.S. Pacific Command canceled a planned port visit in Australia for the aircraft carrier and the escort ships in the Vinson Strike Group. This led many to believe Vinson would immediately head north from Singapore to the Korean Peninsula. But we've learned the Carl Vinson Strike Group has continued a training exercise with its Australian counterparts near Australia and will begin steaming north in another day or so, arriving later this month. Vice President Mike Pence is in Japan today, part of a 10-day Asia trip to shore up alliances.
All options are on the table, and there they will remain. But President Trump and I and our administration believes the most productive pathway forward is dialogue among the family of nations that can isolate and pressure North Korea.
The crisis is far from over. Looming on the horizon is another key date for the North Koreans. April 25th marks the anniversary of the founding of the country's military, another date that Kim Jong-un likes to mark with dramatic tests. The good news is the USS Carl Vinson will be near the peninsula by then.
Jennifer, thank you. We're watching it along with you. From the Pentagon there, thanks.